And there we go. Maybe this way, this way. I'm not sure. Anyway. Hi, Billy Six. And I said I wasn't going to show Aaron's guitar, but I took some pieces off of my guitar to finish it because they didn't arrive in the mail yet. I ordered some more, put the rush on it, and hopefully they'll be here day after tomorrow, which is really holding me back because this saddle is not quite tall enough to adjust the neck. Everybody's heard about the truss rod. Well, this neck definitely needs a truss rod adjustment. It's got a little bit of this going on. So action's really low here, gets really high here, and then it catches back up. So once you get up to about here, Luciana, please lay down. Once you get up to about here, you start getting a little string rattle. That's okay, we expected that. I wanted to just string it up for a while, play it, kind of get it used to having tension on it again. This was a guy's idea of garbage. He was going to throw it away. It had been hammered pretty hard. The body was separating from it. It was painted completely black. So I redid the glue on that, and then the neck was completely busted off right here. Oh, I better pay attention to what I'm showing you right there. And then the headstock right here didn't look nothing like that. Now I got these old strings on it. I'm not putting the new strings on until we get ready to set her up permanent. But there's my little logo in there. We'll show you that some other time. But yeah, so I reshaped the headstock. I got some tuners that were more suited to its style. These are the locking tuners. Vintage look, but modern use. So, excuse me, Bo. The dog wants to be on TV. Lay down, boy. He thinks I'm talking to him. At any rate, so I let it cure for a few days after sealing it, and just want to get a feel of the sound. Looks like we got a little more lacquer in this peg holes than we wanted to, so we'll get a little sandpaper after that, make sure they go all the way down and seat correctly. It's not the hole that keeps the pegs in place, right? It's the string tension, so remember that. If your peg is a little loose without the string in there before you put tension on it, you don't ever have to worry about that. The string will tighten it up. But once you get good tension on it, you want to make sure they're all the way down. Okay, so intonation on this. Because the neck has that bow in it, what that does is it shortens the distance between the bridge and the nut, causing it to run, what do we got here, sharp, right? And if we were flat, that would mean that we had too much distance between point A and B. Now, acoustics are real difficult to set intonation on once you've pushed them to the limit. Now, the limit is, I'll try and make this as simple as possible. All right, the nut to the bridge, the distance between. Okay, we want to be the exact distance to make 440 hertz on the open note, no matter what string you play. The open note, 440 hertz for whatever key it's in. This would be the E. So 440 hertz right there. And then an octave up, you want another 440 hertz. As long as you got that, your guitar is intonated. Now, in the case where I'm at, it's working in my favor, because as I adjust the truss rod and take some of that bow out, then it's going to increase the distance between the nut and the bridge, which will bring me right into where I want to be. Now, the very last adjustment you have is the height of the nut and the bridge. So, ideally, if we get it just right, we could be level all the way across. If anything, the bridge just a little higher. So if you've got point A and point B on a level field and you raise one, that increases the distance ever so slightly. So if you're really high on your bridge and your nut's down here, the more you lower the bridge, the more you lessen the distance. Now, that's going to have a very minor effect usually. So just get the best you can out of it without sacrificing tonality and playability. You don't want that rattle in all your songs. So the problem with not being intonated, and I've heard this explained a bunch of different ways. What I found is if you tune to your major chords and you play them like the G, C, D, A, right? You tune each one to 440, those generally come in good, but then you go to your bar chords and they're just a little off, or you tune to your bar chords and your major chords are just a little off, or your what you call them, traditional chords. Let's go with that. This one's not too bad. I'm going to try it open. A little bit off. So, anyways, back to the guitar. We turned around and I stripped all the black paint off. There was no saving it. Now, I never really cared for painted guitars too much. I mean, a little bit here and there to accent, yeah. To do trim, yeah. But wood is just so beautiful, you know. And all my friends are making jokes about that about now. Anyway, so this is what happens when you get a lot of damage to a guitar and you have to go down past the laminate to the basswood. However, I don't think it looks bad. And once you get it smoothed out and cleared over, I just think that's just beautiful. It looks like something Willie Nelson played for years, but was made that way on purpose. So, the sides, was able to save most of the laminate and really bring out the wood. Now, the molding on the edges, pretty important to keep that on most acoustic guitars. All of it if you can. There's my son's name. He's going to hate me for that, but or not. Anyways, the lighting sucks in here, and you can see that. But what I did was I re-glued this so extremely well that I'm confident the molding is not going to add any other protection, and I have no seams showing that I really want to hide. So what I did was I torched all the outer edge, and except for the back face, I was able to save that entire laminate except for one little edge right there. So we saved that natural finish. Anyways, but I just burnt the edges and then faded it in a little bit and a little bit darker on the bottom, and then I'd wipe it off and then do it again. And then I hit it with a nice stain, about 3 coats of that, put it on, let it get to where it's just tacky, and then wipe it off. And then about 6 coats of this lacquer that I'm not really impressed with, so I'm thinking about a resand and a reshoot there. Anyway, hopefully I'll have all the stuff I need for it here shortly, and we'll be able to do the final setup on it. I have nothing but good intentions or expectations from the sound of this. I have a pickup for it already. It's going to be a fixed mount with a internal cord jack, 3/4 jack, back there around the strap somewhere. All the wires will be hidden inside. He'll like that. Anyway, let's do one of his favorite songs and call this one a video. Actually, let's make this that was about his guitar and stop there.